Hey guys, today we're gonna be looking at the Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse Wave Colossus Build-A-Figure. I'm so excited to review this, so let's quickly put the Build-A-Figure together. And now popping the arms in, attaching the strap for the bandana to the back of his head, and finally popping that head on. And as you can tell, the assembly process was quite smooth and I did not need to use any sort of heat to pop those joints in. As a Build-A-Figure, he does come with two accessories, and those are his swappable fists. These fists are cast in a silver metallic looking plastic to mimic his metallic skin texture. These fists are sculpted with those lines in them, as well as the skeletal links that run on the outside of his hands down the knuckles and to the fingertips. And these hands are articulated inwards as well as outwards. And these fisted hands pop on nicely onto the figure. The Age of Apocalypse Colossus is a brand new sculpt, and over here I have him together with the 80 years 2-pack Colossus. The new Colossus is at least half a head taller, while his metallic skin is just cast from a metallic plastic, and that contrasts vastly with the 80 years Colossus that has silver paint all over him. It has a more premium and finished look to it, but at the same time those stripes on his metallic skin are more simple, just going horizontally across the body. The new Colossus though isn't painted, but the metallic plastic still catches the light well enough for you to notice all the lines in his sculpting. The lines in his skin are more intricate and they follow the muscle fibers sculpted onto him. These lines also flow vertically on his chest, and because they're unpainted, it might look a little cheap to some people, but I think it works here because the darker tone reminds us of the dystopian future in the Age of Apocalypse. And another advantage that he comes with is he now has double hinged elbows, so I expect him to have better elbow articulation compared to the old one. For his head sculpt, there is a red plastic bandana on top of the metallic skin on his face. Hasbro has done a great job in capturing that full-on rampage mode on his face. He looks super pissed off and ready to smash some of his enemies. He's got sharply applied white paint for his eyes as well as the black outline around it. His teeth are also given that same treatment with the white paint and black outline, so no complaints with the paint over here. On the back of his head, he's got straps for his bandana, and these are sculpted with the waves in the straps, so that it looks organic and kind of flailing in the wind. For his torso, he's got a red armor piece over his right shoulder. Once again, sharply applied silver paint for the rivets on this armor piece. This armor piece sits loosely over his shoulder, and I suppose that would allow you to use more of the articulation out of that shoulder joint. The red armor piece is also accompanied by some yellow straps on his torso. There's some interesting crisscrossing of that armor together with these yellow straps, and that is accurate to the comics. The X-Men logo is also sharply printed in red, and behind this logo there is actually a little peg, so you can pop off the straps if you wanted to. So you can choose to have him wearing just one of the two torso pieces, but this armor becomes a little too loose once you slide those yellow straps off. And this is what he looks like with just the yellow straps, which for me don't actually sit on too firmly. Sometimes a little bit of wiggling and the yellow straps just pop off. And here he is also with his bare torso. And over here you can see how the metallic plastic actually really catches the light. So there's quite a bit of shine on the areas that protrude, while the depressions in the metal also form some shadows. So even though the rest of the metallic skin on the torso as well as the legs are not painted, the sculpting and the way the material catches the light still makes the figure look interesting to look at. Onto his arms. They've got red plastic gauntlets on them as well as an elbow pad, and these gauntlets have straps just below the forearm just to show how they are fastened on. He's got plain red trunks on, and on his legs he's got gigantic red shin armor, and that's also paired with the same straps that you see on his wrist gauntlets. And onto his shoes, they've got a really simple design, just a single strap across the front. For articulation, his head is on a ball hinge, so that goes 360. You can tilt it sideways left as well as right just a little bit, and he can look downwards that far and quite a bit upwards. As with some of the bigger Build-A-Figures, they have detented swivels at the shoulders, so that gives you better stability. The hinges also go outwards, so that's quite a fair bit. There's an upper bicep swivel. And now for the double hinged elbows that he can lord over the 80 years Colossus. But because of how the gauntlets are so thick, coupled with his gigantic bicep, you only get about 90 degrees from this joint. His wrists are on a swivel, so that goes 360, articulating in as well as out. He's got a mid-torso ab crunch, so you can bend him forward as well as backward. And once again, you see the yellow strap popping off for me. He's also got a waist swivel, so he goes 360. Really tight ball joints on his hips, so those go outward that far. Pretty good range for a big guy. And of course, you can also get him forward and backward that far. He's got a thigh swivel, and that's where the Build-A-Figure connects. Double hinge at the knees, so that gets you quite a good range once again beyond 90 degrees. He's got a really tight ankle tilt that goes upwards one click, as well as downwards that far. You can also try to slide that shoe over that notch on his boot to get even more range. And lastly, he has ankle pivots outwards as well as inwards. Colossus has major shelf presence simply because of his size, his shiny skin, as well his bright red and yellow color palette. He's incredibly solid and also really well made, so you can balance him even on one foot. He's incredibly fun to handle and a real joy to mess around with. Colossus stands at just over 8 inches or about 20.5 centimeters. Size-wise, he is more than a match for the villains. Naturally, he also towers over his fellow X-Men. This is how he looks like with the rest of the Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 Marvel Legends. And this is how I will rank the wave in descending order of merit. I feel the overall quality of this Wave 2 has been stepped up from the Age of Apocalypse Wave 1. It's super hard to rank all these figures this way. I feel like every one of them has been pretty good, with the exception of Cyclops of course. Mostly because there's not much paint detail on him, and his body from his waist down is just super pure laziness from Hasbro. And for further size comparisons, here he is with Spider-Man and Iron Man, G.I. Joe Classified Series, and some Star Wars Black Series. Colossus is a super Build-A-Figure. The only downside is his lack of paint, but Hasbro has managed to work in the mixed use of bright colored plastics to make him look interesting, and the metallic looking plastic for his skin catches the light well to make him stand out on your shelf. The joints feel robust, and the figure is fantastic to handle once you get him in hand. This is damn near close to being one of the best Build-A-Figures that I have handled. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more toy reviews. Also, don't forget to check out my new TikTok account created in the description below. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.